Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV and the season finale of Season 3 of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me for this final 3 races of the season is Andy Thompson, Sam Kume operating the cameras, and yeah, this is where the championships will be decided. We've got a couple of championships still very much up to play for this final 3 races of the season, and Montreal, our host for tonight, they can see the championship standings as they head into this round, which cannot be dropped, remember, and George Simmons has been the man in form recently, has cut that gap from about 250 points down to 70 points, or 62 points, apologies, in just a couple of meetings. He needs to rely on something happening though to Harrison to catch up. 6-time champion Wojciech Savidovic in 3rd position there with a good strong end to his season as well. He's looking good for that position. And in the amateur standings as well, it's been a 2-way battle really for the most part this season. Mark Woodhouse though has had the lead since the fairly early parts of the season. Gregory has had some good signs recently, but neither of them have really been able to go on a great run of form, and so the championship remains at about 110 points. Woodhouse would need to not finish a couple of races tonight, otherwise he should be the champion. Andy, very happy to have you along. Quite a high stakes race to make your first commentary on this Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship, but it's fairly simple. I was explaining it earlier on. I mean, as long as the championship leaders finish all 3 races, they should have it in the bag.
Yeah, well, thank you for the invite, Sam, and I'm very grateful to be here, guys, on the last round of this series. So I've been watching a few of them on the stream. Last time out in Le Mans was very interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be as interesting and as tight as it was, but it was a really entertaining battle. I think the first race, obviously we're going to have Kieran Harrison and George Simmons up the front of the grid. I think where it's really going to come into play, Sam, is the second and third races when we have the reverse grids. It's how Kieran and Simpson and Savidovic actually get through the field. You know, incidents could be caused, lose places, and as we haven't got a fast repair in this series, yeah, it's you've got to thread it through the eye of a needle to make sure that your car stays in one place to pick up the points, really.
And this is a place where it can go wrong very quickly. I mean, I'm an expert on that after my very poor rounds in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship last night. 2 starts, 2 races and 2 first lap crashes, unfortunately, through the second chicane. So that is really going to be a trigger point, as is pretty much this entire circuit for the entire race, because the walls are very close, and also slowdowns as well can really jeopardize your chances of a good result, especially if you pick one up in the early stages. So will be an interesting host for this final round of the season. We're currently 4.5 minutes away from the end of this final qualifying of the season. Qualifying has been so unpredictable, particularly in the first half of the season. Since then, really Simmons and Harrison have been able to get the majority of pole positions, and at the moment Simmons with a terrific time, 0.3 of a second clear of the rest of the order.
Yeah, what's surprising is Harrison down in 17th, so he must have had some issues or hasn't done a flying lap yet. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, towards the end of the qualifying, although it's only 4 minutes left to do it, I'm sure he'll climb up the order and be around the runners. I mean, this will play perfectly into Simmons' hands. Oh, there we go. And as we say, he goes second, 2 tenths behind Simmons, and then Savidovic in third. So all 3 of the top drivers, 1, 2, and 3.
It's been good to see Savidovic having a bit of an upturn in form recently. I mean, he had a terrific Le Mans round. He really managed to help out Simmons quite a bit, his teammate, in a season where the HM Engineering drivers have been able to really work together and help out Harrison. It was actually Savidovic who was helping out Simmons on that occasion. And so we'll be interested to see what he can do. Of course, not the championship this season, but still a good result for the most successful driver in this championship. 6 titles he has won. I think he won 6 over the course of 7 seasons. And against some absolutely incredible drivers as well. Back in the Kia, he won 5 of those championships. So is a terrific driver. In the amateur category, of course, we've got Ben Gregory out here tonight. However, interestingly, Woodhouse is for some reason being listed as a pro driver, I believe, at the moment, so that's a little bit of an odd one. Woodhouse should be an amateur, so it might just be worth displaying the numbers on screen until we can maybe fix that on the overlay. But yeah, Woodhouse at the lead of that championship at the moment, ahead of Gregory in qualifying. And actually, Gregory's in the pits at the moment, Andy, and that usually indicates that he's picked up damage. And if you picked up damage in qualifying, you're not allowed to be back out on circuit at the end of the session. So that's pretty bad news for Gregory, not the start they wanted.
No, that's a good addition, isn't it? It's are you going to push it to the limits in qualifying, or are you going to keep it clean to be able to do maximum amount of laps? Yeah, certainly if you get some damage and you have to go in the pits, that's your qualifying over. But where they currently stand, you've got Woodhouse, Beale and Gregory, with Glasscoff in 4th place in the AMs. So all there with about 3 cars between Woodhouse and Villy, and 4 between Woodhouse and Gregory. So yeah, still all quite close in the AMs. The pros, same order still: Simmons, Harris, Vidovic, Smith and Flatland in the top 5. So what amazes me is this track is so long, but yeah, if you look at the timings, they are so close together. It just shows the level of expertise that these drivers have got in these cars. I had to go in it, and these guys make it look so easy. It's certainly not the easiest car to drive, I found anyway.
I think that's a very good point. I mean, they do make it look so easy. I mean, it looks like, yeah, the easiest car to drive on the sim when these guys are racing around, but it is so tricky. It's always the precision, and you know, let's face it, I haven't driven this car that much, so maybe I'm talking out of a certain area of my body, but it's the way that they can just get on the power at just the right time. They know how much grip they're going to get in these front-wheel drive machines, which of course understood so much when you got the power on, and yet they nail it the vast majority of the time. Once the 15 minutes of this qualifying session are up, that is it. You cannot finish the lap that you start, so Marcel T is not going to reach the line as he just clips the wall, so he's definitely not going to set a time. Norbert Leitner and Raymond Bokler, I think, are the two headline drivers get across the line. Leitner with an improvement, but still down in 11. That's a poor qualifying there for Leitner, who has won a couple of races this season, I believe. What can Bokler do just behind? And it's a bit of a weak one there for Bokler, so HM Engineering surprisingly far down the order. As the session progresses over to the gridding, so the drivers will pop onto the grid. Should have 2 minutes here before this final race of the season, and of course, or final race 1 of the season, final qualifying of the season goes to George Simmons, just underlying the form that he has had recently. He takes pole position by one of the biggest margins all season, frankly, by 0.2 of a second. Wojciech Savidovic starts in 3rd position. Then it is Fraser Smith, Terje Flatson, Roman Pershka, Martin Ascher, Marcel Tai, Vasily Zaitsev, Mark Woodhouse is top of the amateur drivers, of course, going for the championship in that category. Norbert Leitner lines up in 11th. There's Roman Bokler, Igor Shurikov, Lars Avila, Ben Gregory, Marcel Fritsch, Sergei Glazkov, Corentin Guinness, Baron Glover, and I don't think Jack Tinger will be taking part. I don't think Guinness and Glover will either. Don't think they're in the session. Certainly didn't set qualifying times. So yeah,
we had qualifying bands, quality bands. I think those two, Inez and Glover.
Oh, good. I think Glover may have quit the session. I'm not quite sure, but Guinness is certainly in. So watch out for him from the back. That would be pretty entertaining to watch. But yeah, it's a real trouble spot around this circuit, Andy, on that first lap. Do you think Howson will be taking it a bit carefully?
I mean, obviously the first corner is going to be the hardest one. It's the tyres are going to be cold. It's a quite tight left-hander followed by a right-hander, so you've got to be fast enough to get that position, but slow enough to get the corners quite easily to run out wide on that corner. So we'll see the start off and see how they get on.
Yeah, we will see what is going to happen here. 3 races to go this season, and it's Harrison versus Simmons for the championship. Harrison just needs to finish all 3 races. He should almost certainly be the champion of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship Season 3. So, the red lights are coming on, and the green flag is out for race 1 of the evening. It's a strong start for Simmons, trying to cover up Harrison. There's almost contact between the championship rivals down into turn 1. Simmons really giving his rival absolutely nothing there. Harrison has to settle for second best. Good start for Smith to try to get past Savidovic right here. I think he's going to be able to do that. Also good start for T, and good start for Woodhouse further down the order. As there goes Harrison nipping up the inside. It is a chicane though, as there's contact further back. We've got the full send driver into the wall, and now that's going to be more contact with one of the HM Engineering cars and one of the Wild Animal cars as well, and that's already 3 drivers out on the spot, and that all stemmed from contact between Savidovic and Fraser, as it's got more side by side here for the lead. Simmons just has not been able to cover up Harrison, who has got better straight line speed. However, this is very much a one-way chicane, and Simmons is able to retake that one. But that's a couple of big drivers. Fraser Smith, the most notable there.
Yeah, great start. All the cars got away nice and cleanly into the first and second corner. There was obviously a lot of incidents in the third and fourth, with 3 drivers getting taken out, unfortunately. Obviously collateral damage from the first incident. But yeah, it's a really good battle at the moment between Simmons and Harrison, matching each other, speed for speed, corner for corner. That slipstream up this back straight will be quite strong. At the moment they're not using it, just going side by side going into the Wall of Champions, which is very brave. We'll see who breaks first, and it looks like it was Harris that broke first, and Simmons obviously takes back first place. So end of the first lap, Simmons, Harris and Savidovic are the top 3 as it was on the grid.
yeah, Savinovic trying to get in amongst here Harrison a bit. I wonder if we'll see any tactics here from Simmons to back up Harrison a little bit. I think I recall, when Lorenzo was going for the title against Marquez, trying to. Actually, I think I've got that wrong. I'm not sure. If only I'm not sure if you're a fan of MotoGP, Andy, but I'm sure Peter McKay would be able to correct me on that one. But there has been, of course, examples in all championships where drivers have tried to back up their rivals for the title win, to get a few cars between them and their rivals. I wonder if Simmons will do that. I think right now just trying to survive out in the lead. Of course, another driver who got caught up in that was Mark Woodhouse, who is the leader in the outer category, and that is straight away going to be probably 50 points lost for him. He came into the round with a 120-point lead, so it looks kind of all right for him right now. Woodhouse, it's not the end of the world. He's not going to finish race 1, but once he finishes the next 2 races, he should be all right, or at least one of the next 2 races, he should be all right. But we'll try to keep you posted on those points as the evening goes on, as we see side by side here between Aschert defending from Zaitsev.
Yeah, great fastest lap from Simmons, a 153.034, nearly 4 tenths ahead, faster than Harrison on that last lap. So he's certainly got the pace, Simmons, on this track. Harrison's obviously matching him, and Svidovic is staying with him. So yeah, the top 3 are nose to tail on there, and yeah, it should be a really good race coming for the rest of the remaining time. So we'll see what goes on. There's going to be some ambitious moves, I think, that's going to occur maybe towards the latter end of the race. But Harrison, if he's got his head screwed on, then he'll realise that all he has to do is just stay behind Simmons, and the championship's his.
I wonder if he's a little bit concerned about Savinovic. He has got blood on that bumper already. Of course, taking out Fraser Smith. Apologies, I didn't mean taking out. I mean, there was a collision between the 2 of them. I didn't see the incident at all, so I'm not quite sure whose fault it was. But certainly, maybe Harrison a little bit concerned with that one as a mistake there from Simmons. He's going to have to go defensive again, but no, it's very difficult to fashion a move around this Montreal circuit against 2 evenly matched drivers, because unless Simmons is super early on the brakes here, there's just no way for Harrison to get past. He doesn't want to pick up a slowdown, so he has to stay behind, but Simmons is a bit deep again. This is an unusual performance from Simmons so far. It is backing up Harrison into the other drivers, but once again, it is the British Joe who's got the inside, and also Savinovic might be able to take advantage of this one into the hairpin. And now Harrison gets a brilliant cutback and will be able to pull up into the lead. So it's Harrison who overtakes Simmons, and that is crucial for the championship.
Yeah, I think he went in too deep into that corner, did Simmons. Obviously, he was on the inside line, so he needed to take a more tighter line into that, and obviously adjust his brake accordingly, but it looks like he didn't adjust his brake, took his normal braking position, unfortunately went out wide, and Harrison got him on the cutback. So a really nice move there by Harrison, and now Simmons, who's obviously the faster guy on track, has got it all to do. So got a bump drafting going to go on here. I'm going to try into the first corner.
He's on the grass, he's all on the grass there, isn't he? But he's round the outside.
Great move.
Move there from Simmons to get back ahead of Harrison. Remember, Simmons has got to have the attitude here. Well, if we crash, then 50-50, you retire from the race, I make up a bunch of points. Whereas, of course, Harrison just needs to finish the 3 races tonight in order to win the championship. So, Simmons there being able to fight back, but at the moment, Savinovic hasn't quite got involved in this one, as here comes Harrison up the inside. This is really holding up to these drivers, as Simmons is having to go defensive into almost every corner.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the races I have watched in the past, I don't think it's in Harrison's nature just to sit back and be status quo. I think he always wants to win the race, and obviously it's what we're seeing here now. It's nose to tail fighting, trying to get corners, but a great recovery from Simmons to get back from Harrison. Harrison took the corner, and straight away Simmons hit back and took the lead again. So he really wants to be leading this race, Simmons, and not obviously in second place. So yeah, it's turned out to be a very good. Oh, he takes him on the inside, Harrison. Has he got the cut back on him? But Simmons should have the speed out of the corner. Yeah. So yeah, status quo, and all following a nice long line there.
Now trying to pull some shapes here. Simmons has got to cover off the inside here. Come on. cover it up. There you go, up the inside. He's got to go all the way to the line because if there's, I mean, there you go, there's a space there. He's kind of left himself a bit vulnerable. I think there was a tap there from Sabinovic, and now there's a tap with Simmons, and Simmons has to cut across the curb, and also there's a crash in the background, just to say that some drivers might be able to take advantage of that. Ascher off into the wall, and now there's going to be other drivers around. Come on, get on with it. As we've got a lot of batsing further up. Terrible for George Simmons there as he runs wide at turn 1 as well, just trying to go too wide. It's going to be absolutely throwing caution to the wind right now. Sabinovic is now up into second place. Zaitsev up into third. Zaitsev gained a huge amount of places. He gained 5 places from that incident and is up into that third positions, and Simmons has an
Yeah, it's that one little incident and the field all changes around. So Simmons obviously back in 5th now, so he has to try and cut through this field, get back up to Harrison to keep that points gap, because at the moment it stays as is. Harrison will expect lead even more over Simmons, so he needs to get into second place just to limit them and give him that opportunity. But it's certainly looking like Harrison sort of pulling away now, 2.6 seconds ahead of second place. So yeah, that incident obviously helped Harrison out, because when Simmons got turned, he was quite slow coming out, and I think it slowed up the whole pack, and he got the world champion.
Simmons has got 1 position back now. I wonder if we could get I mean, lots going on, but when we get a chance, we'll see a replay of that incident, because I think it was Sabinovic who gave Harrison a bit of a tap, and then that kind of forced him into Simmons. But I'm not sure if the Apex guys will necessarily see it that way, because maybe they'll feel like Harrison could have done more to avoid the incident. But certainly one for the stewards to investigate, I imagine, after the race. I mean, if you do, as he so he went down the inside. There's only some contact there, I think, but I don't know, he was maybe going to hit Simmons anyway.
Very brave to try and go too wide into the wall of champions. It normally ends up in somebody spinning or somebody getting damaged, or someone hitting the famous wall.
Yeah, and in the background it was Ascher who was spinning round. Ascher actually out of the race now, had too much damage. So you can see we've got about a quarter of our drivers out of the event already. We can't get a replay of that Ascher incident, because yeah, he seemed to maybe just get held up a bit, and then maybe get tapped on the rear. At this point, Zaitsev was behind, so Zaitsev just has a dream couple of corners. He just does not waste any time. Ascher just got overexcited. He did the old thing of, oh, I'm back in a couple of places there, and spun it by himself.
I mean, it was a great line that Zaitsev took. I mean, he was fortunate in that, because obviously Simmons was down the inside coming out onto the start-finish straight, and Zaitsev went on the outside, so Simmons held up the whole field on the inside, and Zaitsev just popped round the outside and got up about 5 places in that, so he certainly profited out of that incident for sure.
Simmons now trying to bump him back down one of those places. It was Zaitsev with the better exit. Simmons has gone through this build very quickly, to be fair to him, as Zaitsev too experienced, too smart to battle that one too much. And say Simmons up into third. That will inevitably turn into second, because Sabinovic has shown at Le Mans Race 3 that he's willing to give up a race win in order to help his teammate in the penultimate round, let alone a second place in the penultimate round. There's been Gregory looking to take some points out of Mark Woodhouse right now. He's out of the race. Woodhouse, though, with a sizable margin. The gap would be down to, I think, about 70 points after this round, after this race, sorry, should it end like this. So Gregory would take a decent chunk out of points out, but we still need to rely on another non-finish in order to get close. But he's not too far behind the race leaders at the moment. He's just off this kind of lead pack.
Yeah, I mean, he's profited from the unfortunate demise of Mark Woodhouse on that first lap. I bet he's kicking himself and just wanting race 2 to start off to make amends, really. But unfortunately, it wasn't his fault. He just got taken out as collateral damage with the whole incident. But yeah, Ben Gregory will relish the points to close the gap and the possibility of taking second place, because he was 113 points. I worked out that was the difference at the start, so you know, the difference could be around about 60-70 points going into the second race, and who knows what race 2 and 3 will bring.
Yeah, it was 113 coming in, so yeah, it will be 60 or 70 points, I think. By the way, his highest scoring round, I think, this season, I think it's 152. He did that fairly recently. He actually got 151 at Le Mans. He did very well last week, although actually Woodhouse managed to get 154. So of course, 113 points to gain. You kind of get the idea that, you know, if his best round of the season is 150 points and 113 to gain, you know, as long as Woodhouse kind of scores 40 odd points, then he should be alright. And with this smaller field for this round of the championship, Woodhouse just needs one finish in order to clinch the championship, we believe. Of course, there's also penalties after the race, and I mean, any penalties that the drivers do get, which would normally be a pit lane start, they get converted. So if you just have maybe a bad incident, easily be 20 penalty points, which could change things as well. So we're going to be sure of the results after this race, but we should have a good idea of them. So this kind of train just starting to stagnate a little bit. I mean, Simmons at the front of it now. Zaitsev doing well to keep up, but kind of Flatson and Leitner and Pershka not able to do anything to the driver ahead.
I think they've all sort of neutralised each other. They're all running around about the same place, and obviously the setups must be very similar, because they're all running around about the same lap time. So it's almost relying on people having mistakes to be able to get past that driver. But Milovic is right on the tail now of Harrison, so we'll see what he can do up there. See what the slipstream is like. So he's starting to doing a bit of a weave to try and get out of it, but you can see the power of that slipstream, and so it's come up on his left hand side. A very brave move going into the Wall of Champions. Is it clean? Yeah. He had to back out, I think, a little bit on that one, else they would have gone too wide into there. But no, the liveries, I love the liveries as well. The liveries are amazing on some of these cars, the hook and bell cars. Yeah, really nice liveries. A lot of effort's gone into them.
Yeah, they've, after 16 meetings, they're kind of etched into my eyeballs, I think, some of these liveries, but they are very good. I think HM Engineering and Apex are certainly kind of a clean liveries, which looks very good this season. Nice that we haven't had as many blue and white liveried cars in previous seasons. We've had about half the grid in blue and white. But this season it's a bit more diverse. I assume Harrison got a slowdown then a couple of laps ago. He lost. Oh yeah, no, I'm not sure if he did actually. So Harrison 2 laps ago was 1 second slower, and then on that lap he lost another 7/10. So I mean, the lap before was really bad. It was like a mid 47. You can see it's not really one lap which hurts him. It's kind of just been going down anyway, which is surprising because Harrison is usually so quick, and Zaridovic is almost an assassin right now for Simmons because he can afford an incident.
You see the damage on his front right hand of his car on Harrison, so maybe he's got slight damage affecting his aero when it comes down to the long straights.
It's good shout. This will be a good test.
You can see his right hand side, the back is it's in as well, so well, we know the slipstream is strong, so we'll have to see if Svidovic can get on the outside of him this time.
Oh, Svidovic just crowding him out a little bit here. There's contact between the two of them. Harrison will stick down the inside, and he is almost in the wall. He just about avoids it, but he does drop to the back of the chain, so it's now Svidovic who leads, but he may well let Simmons go if they feel like this is a good opportunity to get it down. He's got to make sure that Zaitsev doesn't get past simultaneously. I mean, if this type of stuff is going on in race 1, wait till race 3 because it is really kicking off this championship. But yeah, maybe that damage for Harrison was dropping him back into the pack, and kind of once he had Svidovic on his tail, it's only a matter of time until the two of them did go at battle. As now Svidovic almost knocking a mirror off that. Simmons wasn't able to get ahead, but this swap I think will happen basically.
I think a bit of team orders will come into play towards the end of the race, and they'll let it pass. I think he did it in one of the other rounds, if I remember rightly, was it?
Yep, last round.
Last round,
Le
yeah,
Mans.
Le Mans, yeah, I thought it was. That was impressive, a Le Mans style finish in Le Mans. Can't beat that, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, proper formation flying at the end of that one. So into the hairpin, into the chicane. I've got a bit of a gap now to Zaitsev. He's got to be careful of Flatten. Still, Simmons just stays behind. There goes Harrison. All of a sudden, he's got a second wind and is going much faster than he was before.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, it'd be great to have a chat with him, because I'm really curious at why he was so slow, but I can only imagine it was the damage that you pointed out.
Yeah, I think he's got the bit between his teeth. He needs to limit obviously the deficit that he's going to get over Simmons, because I'm pretty sure he knows that Svidovic is going to let him pass, as he has. So he's already did it, so there's a team orders changeover. We've got Simmons, Svidovic, Zaitsev and Harrison in the top 4 now. So we'll see what Harrison can do to get back to Zaitsev, and see what he can do with the Apex Racing team guys.
Yeah, I think that place is looking strong here, for Harrison at least. And yeah, then see what he can do with Svidovic in K. Yeah, real close one. Vila's got ahead of Gregory, actually. I'm not sure when that one happened. Gregory's been a little bit slow recently. He was 7/10 slower than Vila on that last lap. It's only 1 point, I think. So let's face it, 113 points. 1 point isn't going to make the world of difference. But Vila now up into the top of the amateur category. Been a very good addition, has Lars Vila, entering these final 3 meetings of the season. Be good to have him around. To be another amateur win for him if he could consolidate it. Fritsch there in 11th place overall, and third in the amateur third in this amateur race and classical. The last one there. Harrison's just moved past Zaitsev, so apologies that I pointed out the battle for 9, because this one was even more going on, as Harrison's got a better exit, flashing the lights. There's no one ahead of you, Kieran. But still, I like the effort. Looks good on the stream as he does move ahead. And well, I think just letting his intentions known to Svidovic there, I don't think he's totally happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure iRacers think it gives an extra couple of miles per hour, because the amount of times that you see people flashing coming out in corners. But yeah, no, great move coming up there. He's obviously used the slipstream well. We just have to see if the damage on his car doesn't affect him for the rest of it, and Zaitsev comes back at him really. But he needs to put his head down and see if he can get past Svidovic. But he doesn't really need to. He just needs to stay where he's at and stay within the top 5. And the championship's his. But I don't know if he's thinking along them lines, or he just wants to get a bit of revenge and get second or first out of this. But I think time is certainly running away from him. If not on the last lap, we would be on the last lap.
Yeah, I think this will be the white flag lap for the drivers. Yeah, surely Harrison will just stay behind Svidovic here. I mean, Svidovic might try to hold on, and honestly, I don't know what's going on in Svidovic's mind. I'm sure, and I honestly say this, I'm sure he will not do anything intentionally to help out Simmons, but it's just a case when you're driving against someone, there's a very big difference between thinking, I could afford to have an instant here, I can afford to maybe rub doors of it, and that's very different to wanting to avoid contact at any point, like driving a TC car versus a Formula 3 car, for example. And I think certainly Svidovic's mindset will be the former, whilst Harrison's will probably be the latter. He is very close here, is Harrison, but he might have a chance at the move. I mean, inside line should be pretty safe for him. Just know that Svidovic is going to hold that one off for all that he can. And what a topsy-turvy, controversial first race of the evening this has been. Looks like it's going to be Simmons to take the win. Harrison pushing Svidovic all the way to the line here. Just needs to make sure no one gets a slow down at the final corner. But as the leader got pole position, he lost the lead fairly early on, George Simmons. But he's been able to take the first win of the night, did all that he could do. And yeah, does get those lucrative points under his belt. Svidovic does put a car between himself and Harrison, but the gap remains very large with 2 more races of the season to go.
Yeah, great first race, a lot of action, a lot of changing positions. and really clean racing. You know, some really good overtaking maneuvers happening in the race. So really good. So to round out the thingy, we got Simmons first, Sidovic second, Harrison in third, Zaitsev in fourth, Futton in fifth, Letner in sixth, Roman Panashki in seventh, Marcel Tayus had a quite quiet one considering he's up there in fourth place in the pros. We didn't really mention him. Lars Wilden ninth, Ben Gregory 10th, Marcel Fish 11th, Igor Shilov at 12th, Baron Glover 13th, Diego Glaskov in 14th, and Rene Gitenes in 15th. So yeah.
Yeah, and there was kind of those drivers who finished more than 1 lap down. It's quite a strict requirement in this series, but if you finish more than 1 lap down, you get 0 points. I mean, that's why we can't talk about the retirement so much. It doesn't just mean that you finish in 16th place, it means that you get 0 points at all. So yeah, there was a few drivers out there who unfortunately weren't able to finish that race, as we will have here are the results up on screen for yourself. The gridding will take 3 minutes. It's been a little bit of a feature this season. Whilst, of course, us commentators, we work so hard, and you viewers must feel sorry for us. I also have to type a couple of words into the iRacing sim just to make sure that there's a 3-minute pause between this race 1 and this race 2. But there are the results for you, and you can see Guinness, Ascher, Bokler, Smith, Woodhouse, all retiring. Tingy did not take part, he won't be taking part in race 2 or race 3 either. But, I mean, in the end, of course, Harrison surviving that first race was very important there, Andy. But I think that the big headline there was Woodhouse not finishing the race. He will be starting from the front in race 2 because it's got a full reverse grid, but he really needs to make sure he doesn't not finish both of these. As he can afford to not finish one of them, but he can't afford to not finish both of them.
No, this is the ideal opportunity. I mean, he's in pole position, so hopefully he can get a good start to his race. Then keep his head down, make sure he doesn't get in too many battles with people, keep it clean, and as long as he's a throw of his Ben Gregory, then the championship should be his. It's his to lose, as they say. But I think the more interesting fight is going to be what we've got at the back. So we've got Kieran Harrison in 18th. Davidovic in 19th and Simmons in 20th, so they've got to come right from the back of the field to get up to the front. So should see some really good passing moves, I hope, as long as it's clean.
Yes, yeah, hopefully so. I mean, Harrison will be hoping to get rid of get away from those Apex drivers, and also just have a nice serene finish. And there is the grid. Tingy not taking part, so it will be Woodhouse taking pole, Smith, Bokler, Ascher at the top. I mean, that top 5, that is an insane grid. I mean, Smith, Bokler, Ascher, and Guinness, I think they've all won races this season. I don't think Woodhouse hasn't got a race win. I don't think we've had an amateur driver win a race. Maybe we had one. I don't think it was Woodhouse. But those other top drivers, I mean, that could be the grid for race 1, frankly. So it's really competitive at the front, it's really competitive at the back, and then it's kind of in the middle. Middle of the grid. So we've got about 20 more seconds to go. I will just give a quick shout out to Apex Racing Academy for helping us out with this series. Also offering some very cool prizes. I think they got like a year subscription for the championship winners, which is pretty cool. So massive thanks to Apex Racing Academy for sponsoring this series. Of course, delivering some of the best driver tuition setups and all that stuff in all of iRacing. And George Simmons can actually teach you how to drive this TC car, and considering that you may well win the title this season, I think he's a pretty good coach. So here comes the red lights. A green flag is out. It's a poor start for Woodhouse, but it's a very good start for Fraser Smith, who immediately takes the lead. Bokler as well, moving through, and he will have eyes on the race win, will the HM Engineering driver. Woodhouse managing to stay in third place, so it's all safe for him at the moment. Harrison keeping behind Zavidovic at the moment, down in 16th place. So head into the second chicane. first time in this race. There's a little bit more single file than it was in race 1, at least at the front of the order, as they cycle through a bit of battling further back. Here comes Guinness on Woodhouse, just needing to avoid the incident, and Guinness does move up into 3rd position, as there's a bit of contact, but I think that was Gregory making a bit of contact with Flatson and Fritsch there. Hopefully they can all get through. Fritsch had a pretty large hit with the wall. I'd be surprised if he can continue, but no, that's a few free positions there for Zurinovic, Harrison and Simmons.
Yeah, a couple of places up. So Simmons in 13th, Harrison is 16th and 17th. So Simmons had a great start there, up 7 places so far, and obviously got the rest. Oh, big spin there for who was that? Oakler. Going in, so obviously cold tyres, a bit too much brake, and then spun it out. So yeah, from 3rd back down to 5th, so he didn't lose too much ground in that, but he just has to put his head back down and start going. One of the things that concerned me is Woodhouse. I think Woodhouse is being a bit too conservative. Certainly on that first lap, you could see the cars behind him getting right up his tailpipe. He may be feeling the nerves certainly in this race, and he's getting caught. If he's too slow, then that's where accidents could be caused.
Mir absolutely flying away. I think he may well be correct there. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be in the pack, does he? Preferably he'd want to have a good start to the race and then kind of only get caught by the drivers behind as they start to spread out. Ascher passed. Bopler will have to move back past. Oh, is that Guinness going for the lead? No, Guinness just backs out of it. I think Guinness has got to be the race favourite here. Although Smith did qualify up in 3rd place, of course, so he's got pace, but so far this season it tends to be Guinness who's had a bit more race pace than Smith, as he was close enough really for the move there, but it's very tricky to tell where the driver ahead of you is going to go there. A little bit offline through that chicane. There are several around this circuit, and so Smith is holding on for dear life. Simmons, by the way, I mean, I think he spoke before about it, up to 13th place by the end of that point. He's now up to 11th place, and Crucia's got a bunch of drivers between himself and Harrison, who is a little bit sluggish out there. You can see the damage on the front of that car as well, so I don't think he's got a meatball at the moment, Harrison, but certainly got damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him in there. He was obviously 16th. He's lost another place, so some sort of incidents. And as you've pointed out, Sam, he's got some very dodgy looking front bumper that's hanging on for dear life, I think. So he's obviously hit somebody up the rear of their car and damaged his front. So hopefully he can keep going, or from probably Simmons' point of view, hopefully he doesn't and starts going down to make it a really interesting last race.
Oh, into the wall goes Smith, and well, that was the concrete part of the wall, I believe, but that car still looks pristine. But Guinness will take the lead, and that will be a massive shame there for Smith. He would have felt like he could win this race. I mean, he could still win this race because he's round the outside through 1, but he can't pull off what Simmons did in race 1, and does have to play 2nd best. Ascher, meanwhile, has gone a bit wide there. He can easily get onto the marbles. The track already had marbles at the start of practice, and as the drivers pound around, they can make it worse. As Woodhouse a bit cautious. I think that was a wise caution, though. Woodhouse not worth trying to overtake a driver he knows is faster than him. But Guinness now into the lead, and I think one hand on that winner's trophy, I think, in this position.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly know how Woodhouse feels when I did the GT trophy, and I needed just to keep where I was to gain 3rd place, possibly 2nd. So the nerves start kicking in, your hands start sweating, you start questioning every braking point that you're looking at, and you microanalyze everything. But that slows you down, you know. You're not got your free spirit that you normally have when you're normal racing. So it puts some anxiety in your arms and legs, and muscle memory that you normally have would actually start going. So you start making little mistakes, and that's where you can get into the battles, get hit from behind, and that's certainly something he doesn't. So just need to look out for that, and he needs to just get back in there, get his concentration back on, and start going again, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Some tight battling into the hairpin between Zurinovic there, and almost gone to the grass. Certainly Gregory just behind him was on the grass. Smith is back into the lead. Well, I had ruled out Mr. Fraser Smith too early. Virginia pole sitzer, of course, and he has retaken the lead of this race. Too much is going on to really get a replay at the moment, although maybe in the middle part of the lap we could get a replay, because really this could change any time. Astra right with these guys once again. Oh, well, that was quite spectacular. I saw some sparks fly up. I don't think, well, I mean, Guinness was flashing the lights down the pit straight. I doubt Smith hits him, but no, maybe he did. I'm not quite sure.
That extra 1 mile an hour, Sam, that's what it's all about. No, you know, it's a really good race. One of the things is Simmons, oh, what replay here? Oh, we got the overtake coming down, so is that slipstream again. We managed to get the inside line, and Inez had to back out, or else he would have gone too wide into the wall of champions, which is not advisable. Simmons is now up to 9th place. Harrison doesn't seem to be making much ground. He's in 16th at the moment, so I think that damage to his car is affecting his speed, which is good news for Simmons, bad news for Harrison really, but probably still got enough of a gap to be not really too concerned at this moment in time. So we've got a late lunge there by Letner, I think it was.
I think that was Boakle on that occasion.
Boakle, yeah, it was, yeah.
In the other HM engineering car, I'm surprised Boakle got it stopped. Honestly, he'd actually make up a place. It's been an infuriating round, honestly, for Roman, because he was battling with Smith earlier on, dipped a wheel onto the grass into the hairpin, and nearly spun the car around. Smith is having to go more defensive. This Montreal circuit really providing us some video racing. I mean, it's tricky to go side by side here, but to defend, it's very much a simple message: cover the inside, and in that case, you pretty much have the corner every single time, because the driver on the outside can't really be expected to have any room for the many chicanes we have at this circuit. Guinness does look faster at the moment. Just dropping a little bit off. In great pace right now for Woodhouse to be going so strong in 4th place. Of course, a long way ahead of Gregory, and if Woodhouse did manage to finish in this position, that would pretty much guarantee the championship for him, albeit we will not be calling any of that until after the meeting, and of course even after penalties are done. Cannot be quite sure of the standings, as there was a little bit of a clip of the wall for Guinness, but there was also going wide for Smith, and now side by side here, and he has managed to forge an inside line for Guinness. Smith trying to battle this one, still he's a little bit wide as the HM engineering driver, but so too was Smith, and Guinness retakes the lead. We've had 3 changes for the 4 changes for the lead in the first 5 laps.
Yeah, I don't think Smith wanted to give that position up, trying to push Guinness out onto the grass, but luckily Smith obviously gave him enough room in the end and got the pass done. So Asher was up on him there, and his line was compromised, and now Woodhouse is alongside him, it looks like. So if he can get the slipstream of Smith in front of him, then he might take him, which I think he's going to. But I think he'll probably back out. I'll call it.
Yeah, he's done brilliantly well to keep Boakle behind, but actually here comes Boakle. I think it will be past. Oh, Simmons just picking up a slowdown in the background. He had a chance at getting in amongst these guys, but that hasn't helped him. Just dropped behind Zane, so geez, that's a dreadful mistake there from Simmons. Should be shouting at his screen. Boakle has now got past Woodhouse finally, so he's up into 4th, and these top 2 are battling. He might fancy his chance. Look at the amount of curb that Smith has picked up, and yeah, he's got to slow down. He took too much curb that time, pushing it too much, and that's his chances of the race win gone.
Yeah, it's that one slowdown. I mean, he was in 1st place, he's now in 7th, possibly going to be in 8th to get ready. Oh, there's a little bit of a door rub there. Yeah, so from 1st place down, or 2nd place down to 6th place, pushing it a little bit too hard, getting that slowdown, which is not ideal in these closely packed cars in terms of doing so. He's got a lot to do now to try and get back up there, but I think he may have, his race may be over as such.
Yeah, he could maybe get back into P4, although T will be very tricky to overtake. Sherkov will be tricky. Woodhouse should be possible. I think although Woodhouse's pace has been vacant. I mean, of course, anyone who's tuned in for the past few meetings, pretty much every single meeting has been the same story. So it's been Gregory getting a better race 1, me and Peter Mackay saying, oh, the championship might be on here, and then second race either Gregory retires or Woodhouse just has a really good race 2. And this is very much following the same script, with Woodhouse punching above his weight up in 4th position, and Gregory not being able to do a whole lot, and that, that's part of the reverse grid and just part of the ebb and flow. I mean, to give credit to Woodhouse, he's pretty much done this all by himself. It wasn't a good start for him, but to still be so close to the leaders is really impressive for an amateur driver. As Shurkov is all under pressure now from T. T actually matched him that last lap, so no changes there. They've also got Pershka, Zaitsev and Simmons, and also Savinovic, all massively catching up. So this train, which was kind of first down to 8th, then we're going to start having a new train to 12th place, as here comes T. On the inside, has he got it done? We don't see a car behind him. It's because there's still a car in front of him, as here comes Smith, who might be able to have an opportunity. He might just try to bump draft Zaitsev and follow him through into the chicane.
Yeah, some great middle action battle going on here. Ty was quite quiet in the first round. We didn't really notice him. Oh, that was lucky. That was very fortunate coming out of that corner. It could have been a big accident.
Yeah, I mean that was nearly kind of instant party. Fraser into the wall, but he did well. Just went onto the grass. Oh, Shurkov's round. Is that a puncture for Shurkov? I don't know. I don't think he got a hit.
Suspension, doesn't it? Suspension looks like it's gone. Or extra low profile.
It seemed like fine. The kind of straight beforehand, and then maybe he got a hit. I don't know, but round certainly at the hairpin. These two have made out to get away. Guinness and Ascher, Pekla not being able to really hold a candle to them, honestly. Ascher really driving well. Did pick up a win, of course, back at Kota. He might be going for another race win here because he's been able to force Guinness offline. But Guinness actually very smart, making sure that he had a wide turn in for turn 1. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. That'll be a 0x. Ascher just, pretty much as close as...
Yeah, Simmons seems to be lapping probably around about half a second faster than the front runners, so obviously that slowdown did hurt him. He was in 9th, went back down to about 11th place, and then came back up into 9th, so he's back onto the speed. He's only 0.17 behind 8th place in the train, so he can get all the way up to 6th. Is a possible target. It's all within a second. Just over a second between that lot. Harrison, on the other hand, seems to be really struggling. One of the laptops I was looking at was a 148 was his last time, 149 before that, so he's certainly got some car damage on there on his cars. It's just been working.
Apparently he's 20 kilometers an hour slower down the straights than the other drivers. I think that's that we get that from the top speed numbers. So his maximum speed so far in this race is 205. The next lowest, Samko doing an amazing job putting that up. So actually that's for the last lap then. I didn't even realise we could do that. I thought it was going across the race, but that's on the last lap, so it's clear that Harrison is losing 20 kilometers an hour. But the lower you finish in race 2, the higher you'll start in race 3. It's a full reverse grid because it's 19 drivers, and because Tingy's not taking part, we will have all 19 swapped rounds for race 2 or race 3 of the evening. So it might actually be a blessing in disguise. It might make for a bit of an easier final race of the evening for Harrison to maybe take home the title for himself. Guinness still holding off Ascher, Beauclair, Woodhouse still doing well in 4th. He's got a bit of a gap to T. So Leitner, Pershka, Simmons and Zaitsev are now right in that punch as well. But we know where to look at. We've only got like 15 drivers out on circuit now, but there's every single one of them is in a battle.
I don't think it was 15 with the amount of action going on. There's a lot of action in this league, that's for sure. Woodhouse is now in the perfect position. He's got a bit of air in front of him, a bit of air behind him. So he can basically just try and get it all the way onto the line now. And as you said, continuous rival Gregory's in 13th, so massive point haul for him. And probably like you said, the normal. Oh, what's happening, Guinness? Got to slow down coming out of that. Yep, so from first back down to Woodhouse. No, he's going to stay behind him. So from first to third, that's how strong that slow down is coming out of that corner. It's a really fast corner, but if you get offline on it, get that slow down, you're easy pickings for the car behind. Even if you're a second behind, get right behind it. So yeah, Guinness in third now from first. Asher leading the race.
Probably one of the most tricky slowdowns I think in all of iRacing, that, because in pretty much any car you drive, maybe not single seaters, but certainly in kind of GTs or touring cars or Porsche Cup, you need to kind of drive over the curb. You need to get, as T hits or you need to kind of be able to get kind of the floor of the car over the curb with the wheels either side of it, so you've got more contact with the ground, but at the same time, of course, you're cutting the corner. But of course, the tighter you push into the slowdown, the faster you go, which isn't necessarily the case with other slowdowns. I mean, usually that's you've got to make quite a big error for a slowdown. So yeah, there's a real tricky one for the drivers, and an easy one to pick up there for Guinness. So it's back to Ascher, who's at the front now and looking good for another race win. But he is under pressure from behind. By the way, Brendan Angus says that he's enjoying the stream. It's his favourite race that we put on. Very good that you're enjoying it. Hopefully everyone is enjoying this, whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. Of course, if you're watching on Twitch, I'm sure you know about the YouTube, so I don't need to promote it too much. But if you're on YouTube and you prefer to watch your streams on Twitch, head over, go follow us on that platform, and you can see all of our streams. There's a little bit of a lower latency if that's something that you want to see more live than on YouTube. And also sometimes there can be technical difficulties, so best to subscribe to both, and then you can always see the best stream available. We broadcast all of our races on Apex Racing TV on both Twitch and YouTube, so do check out our Twitch for that, and give our channel a follow. As Ascher is really under pressure from Bogler, who has suddenly come alive. He was quite underwhelming, I thought, for the first 15 minutes, but all of a sudden he's got a chance at the race win. Yeah,
he's employing his light flashing tactic. Seems to be doing quite well for him, getting on the so it's all down to Asher if he makes a slight mistake, goes into a corner a bit deep or anything like that. So Bogler's ready and willing to pounce at any sort of mistake that gets made. So yeah, really interesting end to this race, and I thought he was going to try and dive down his inside there. Been ambitious through this section for sure.
Woodhouse has just let past that entire pack of jugs. He's down to 9. It shows he knows the maths. He knows that he just needs to finish this race and he should be the champion. So he's not playing any risk. I think that's very smart from him there. I mean, we've got side by side for the lead here. So looking good for Woodhouse. It's looking good for Bogler as well, because he's been able to nip up the inside. He's got a slightly poor run, although a slightly shorter run as well. And Ascher cannot respond. Well, there's contact between the two of them, and that's going across the grass there. And, well, maybe the stewards will have a look at that one after the race if Bogler feels like it should be protested. And now it's Guinness who's back within a chance. So that's been a bad corner for the HM Engineering drivers so far in this race too. Bogler will hold on to P3. I don't think the slowdown will be that bad, but yeah, it's a two-way battle once again. We've got one more lap to go after this.
I think the problem there with Bogler, he took the inside line, so he had a really tight and quite fast right-left. Unfortunately, he had to slow down a bit too much, and Asher behind him was too fast, and he couldn't obviously get on quite hard. Oh, we got Asher into the pits. Was that?
I imagine there'll be a drive-through penalty for picking up too many incidents. These drivers are limited to 16 incidents before they get a slowdown. Apologies, a drive-through penalty. He must have reached that limit. They also get 3 penalty points for every 10 incidents they get. So if you get, say, 12 incidents, you get 3 penalty points. If you get 8, you get 0. That's for every 10 that you get 3 penalty points. So that's been a very good lap there for Simmons. He hasn't had to work particularly hard, and he's getting 2 places because obviously Woodhouse slowed down. And then Ascher has had to go through the pit, so Simmons up into 5th position now. He's just got past Pershka as well. If it weren't for that slowdown for Simmons, I mean, to be fair, chaos theory, we don't really know what would have happened in the race. Maybe he would be out of the race right now, but I think you know, percentage-wise, he would have probably had a good chance at a podium.
Yeah, he's had a really good round. We were looking at 6th. Obviously, there's been some incidents and one that he's profited from into 5th place now, up 50 for him. Letner in front of him actually got up 10 places with Ty 10 places in front of him. So some big movers up there in the top 5. So 3, 4, and 5 up at least 10 places each. So good round for them guys. We got Inez and Bokla still. He's starting to slip away a little bit. Is Inez.
So we've just got news. Thank you to whoever lets us know on the YouTube chat. I can't even pronounce that name. However, thank you for letting us. The second race of the evening will be after a top seed survey race. Corentin Guinness, he takes the race win. It wasn't his best drive. He picked up a slowdown, which almost ended his chances, but he was able to come back, and it's actually an HM Engineering 1-2 finish in the end. T managed to hold off Leitner for 3rd place. Simmons finishes in 5th place, and Mark Woodhouse, I won't say it quite yet because you know, I'll only say it once I've got the points in front of me, but that should be enough to win the amateur championship just by finishing in 8th place, and it was a good finish as well for him, repaying the disappointment of race 1. Behind him there, still Kieran Hassan. Kieran Hassan has now crossed the line actually, so we'll be able to go through your race results for this race 2 as we head into the 5-minute warm-up session that will occur before the final race of the season. There is Corentin Guinness at the top ahead of his teammate Roman Bokla. T was pretty close at the end. He managed to hold off Leitner, Simmons, Pershka, Zaitsev. Woodhouse was top of the AMS. Then it was Fraser Smith who led at one point. Savidovic was only 5.5 seconds off the lead in 10th place. Real close field in the end. Terrier Flatton was in 11th. Then it was Ben Gregory with a very quiet race there in 12th. Sergei Glasgow, Marcel Fritsch, championship leader and maybe champion-elect Kieran Hassan. I think he still needs to finish this final race, but starting high up on the grid, he should have a good chance at doing that. Glover finishes in 16th place overall. Then it was Martin Ascher, who was 1 up down, will score points there, Ascher, because he had to take more fuel at the end. And Igor Shurikov was the 18th place driver there, 5 laps down. He will not score points. Also, Lars Wheeler not finishing out there either. So, yeah, we just got a little bit of a pause then before the final meeting of the final race of the season. We are going to show you a little bit of a trailer now for one of our sponsors for this series, and then we'll be right back with you on Apex Racing TV. So, yeah, just watch this little trailer, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the final meeting of the season in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship Season 3. We are about to line up for the final time this season. This is meeting 16 of the championship. We have had already 47 races this season. This will be the 48th and last, just 20-minute sprint, and here is the grid. It is a full reverse grid from race 2. Lars Wieler then starts on pole. Shirkov, Ascher, you'll have a good chance at a second chance at a good second chance at a race win tonight after running out of fuel from the lead in race 2. Then it's Baron Glover, Harrison, who just needs to finish this race, we believe, in order to win the championship. Marcel Fritsch, Sergei Glaskov, Ben Gregory, Terry Flatten, and Wojciech Sudovic rounds out the top 10. The rest of the drivers will go through for you now. And the sun is starting to set on Montreal, as it is on the championship as well. Just 20 more minutes of the season remaining, and we will know who our pro champion is. Already it seems like Woodhouse has wrapped up the amateurs, but Harrison needs to finish this race in order to clinch his second title in this series. So the lights are coming on then for the final time. Lars Wieler from the pole position. And away we launch here at Montreal. It is a good start for Wieler to pull ahead of Shirkov. We had a driver not taking the start, Baron Glover, which is good news for Harrison. He takes a very easy third position into turn 1. There's chaos happening initially. There's drivers on the inside, and that is Simmons, who seems to have damage, and that might just be the championship coming to an end very early right there. He's got a lot if he can at least finish this race. Further up ahead is Smith, to keep a fairly clean car despite being right in the epicenter of all of that mess. And plenty of changes so far. Woodhouse up 6, Savinovic up 3, Platson up 4, Guinness up 9. And Harrison takes the lead.
Woodhouse has got up 6 places as well in 6th place, so I think he's relaxed maybe a little bit. We're going to get a slow down there for Harrison. So he'll go down to around about 5th place, 4th or 5th. So he hooks back in 4th place, so you know, not ideal start, but he's got 2 AMs in front of him and Shirkov in 1st place, so as long as he stays where he's at, then he's pretty much got this championship wrapped up. Oh, we're going wide there. Harrison just tucking in behind him to get the slipstream up the back straight.
Wants to make this one tricky once up, I think, Harrison, because that would have been a fairly easy race win had he pulled off that move, but now it will be a little bit more complicated for him. So Vidovic continued 5 places. Wasn't exactly a great race too. It was kind of at the back of the lead pack. Look at him storm through that final chicane and sprint away from Woodhouse. Still going. As we got a car on the wall, it's Glaskov. Unfortunately hasn't rebounded back onto the track. You can just see Simmons at the back there, so Simmons is still going, and that does put this race, but very much ailing. It's that Apex car now. contact there between Pershka and Lightning. Pershka usually very well mannered, and I think Norbert will be feeling that way right now, as Gregory, who will of course going for second place in the amateur category, just nipping up the inside. Don't take each other out, guys. Watching Gregory does slide through in 3 spires, boosted car.
Yeah, it was a nice, I think, let him through there. Was a nice sportsmanship there. He possibly taken both cars out, but he gave enough room, let Gregory through. Nice move, really. Great start from guys at the start. He got a bit swallowed up halfway through with Harrison trying the lunge on the chicane. But yeah, he's doing quite well in 4th place. We've got Fritz from the AMS who's running 2nd at the moment. So up 4 places for him. So you know, hopefully we can get an AM on the podium. Would be nice for the last race of the season. We'll see.
Yeah, it would be good. The Christian Klein Sauber, as Mackay calls it, would currently going to Furic, the top Austrian driver, ahead of Pershka at the moment, which is no mean feat. Bokla, oh, it's a slow down there for that. He seems very slow down the straight, so maybe just saying past the HM engineering drivers there. Zurinovic has got past Vila. Oh, Vila's got a slowdown. There you go. That is a huge slowdown as well at the final chicane. And, well, I think that's a bit more than a slowdown. I think he's run out of fuel. I think he's just letting past his drivers, Vila, realising that they're a bit faster and just has a safe race. However, you might just make contact here with T. I think T's just about managed to net past, but Vila down to 11th now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously got the slowdown, and probably right, Sam. He probably just thought, you know what, I'll let all these guys through before getting back in. But yeah, close rejoin, but safe, all safe in the end. Yeah, last race, a lot of heated heads out there. I think thinking, you know, I'm going to give it everything on this last race. So a lot of ambitious moves, and unfortunately we've had a few incidents which has taken out a few places. Asher's out, and Zaitsev is currently still sat in the pit. So 2 pros currently out of the race.
Yeah, shame for what happened to Ascher actually, to be brutal.
Not sure. It must have been involved in that the first corner pile up.
You know what? Actually, I don't think Ascher took the start. I don't think he took the start. No. I mean, he would have been at the front as well, so it's a shame because I think he'd probably be fighting for the win, but not able to do the final race of the season. There goes Smith on, I think that's Smith overtaking Woodhouse right there. Yes, considerably faster so far on this lap there, apologies, Smith. Woodhouse will now be under pressure from Bokla, who will suddenly be up 1 position here. Might even have a go at Smith. And does just stay behind these two. I think we're about to saying earlier on for the race 2 win. It was mainly Guinness versus Smith, but I think Bokla was always in amongst them throughout. But they almost made contact on that one in race 2. A lot has happened tonight. It's tricky to call it all. So maybe a bit of a rivalry forming between these two tonight. 5 minutes into this race then. We've got about 10 more laps to go for this race and the season. And yeah, Harrison doing particularly well up there at the moment in 2nd place, picking up all the points that he needs.
Yeah, if we look at the gaps there, you know, 3 seconds behind Kieran Harrison. Where is it? I don't know if my timing's gone a bit awry.
No, that's correct.
Is it 3 seconds? Yeah. So yeah, he's pulled away. Sherkov's pulled away. Harrison's just doing what he needs to be doing. He needs to just stay in 2nd place, keep it nice and clean. He's got Svidovic behind him, and yeah, he just needs to keep it where he's at, keep it nice and clean, and the championship's his. I'm pretty sure he will know that by now. That he basically just needs to keep it clean. But he's still running around a fair place. So he was 3/10 faster than 1st place on that last lap.
Well, I hadn't realised that Svidovic was behind him. Out of all the guys that you want behind you, Svidovic is probably not the guy. And of course, you know, I've highlighted this a couple of times tonight because of course Svidovic is teammates to George Simmons, so he's not going to, you know, go and play bowling balls out here in Montreal. But you know, he will be up for a fight, and he's one of the few drivers who can actually keep up with Harrison as well. So there was a little bit of contact between them as well at the hairpin. So I know we'll see if Harrison does the maybe lets Savidovic past to avoid any misdemeanors. But yeah, it'll be a tight battle to end the season. Of course, Shurkov as well, only just ahead of them. Rich still leading in the amateur category, although he did just have a poor lap that last time around. Smith in 5th position, gained by 1.2 seconds. But it's not Smith who's moving forwards, that's actually Roman Bokler who's moving forwards. Just got up into 5th place as the Frenchman.
Yeah, so the lead in first place is coming massively down. So a poor lap from Shurkov. He was about half a second slower than Kieran Harrison on that lap, so closing up nicely at the end. I'm pretty sure Savidovic is going to be a sportsman and not do anything stupid in this race to ruin someone else. There's nothing worse than winning from someone else. Unfortunately, not finishing the race. You want to win it properly and win it in style, as they say.
Exactly. Also quite a close teams championship between Apex and HM Engineering. We haven't been paying too much attention to it this season, but still something quite important is that one. It's been close throughout. So we've seen T versus Guinness. Guinness will have the better exit. Yeah, he might just be able to stay ahead there. So in the in the championship at the moment, HM Engineering looking like they are going to be able to clinch that championship. They've got about 170 points ahead of Apex. That's the top 2 scorers for each team scoring points for those teams across the season. So it looks like HM are going to be able to clinch that title as well as the Pro Championship. In similar fashion to what they did last season as well. Apex and Wild Animals rounding out the top 3 in that one. The amateur championship I can't quite confirm at the moment, but 3 Spires boosted, I believe, having a comfortable advantage in that. So it's mainly the Drivers' Championships which are still up in the air, but certainly a lot of pride to be taken from those teams' championships as well.
Yeah, so you know, been quite a long league this, so it's 18 rounds. You've been at the helm all the way through, Sam. You know, what's been your highlight of this season? I've probably got many, but is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
Dear me, well, this could be a highlight because Harrison is moving through to the lead. I think if he could win the championship with a race win, then that would be up there. I may have to come back on that one later on. There's been a lot of races this season. Virginia was very good. I do remember Virginia. That was a nice lead battle in race 1. Yeah, it all clouds into one right now. But no, I'm sure I might send a message to Peter Mackay to give his verdict on that one. Bokler is ahead of Fitch. Yeah, he's only just got past Fitch because he got past Smith previously, didn't he? And now he's got past Fitch as well. So I guess pace from Bokler. Here comes Smith, though. Oh no, you can't. You just can't. Oh, they did. Okay, good work. Fitch got a poor exit, and he's now going to drop behind Woodhouse. In fact, did Fitch cut the chicane there because he's very slow?
Possibly, he took the completely wrong line there. He was on the outside line, which obviously meant the turn out onto the start-finish straight. He had a really big hit there. That's Woodhouse being hit. So he goes from 6th place down to 11th.
Yeah, it was,
Smith? Was it Smith?
I think Smith. Not sure. Maybe Guinness.
Guinness because he was sick, wasn't he? I think so. Yeah, it's good to see the fighting spirit still strong in the group, considering it's the last race of the season.
Absolutely. Savidovic up into 2nd position now, past Shurkov. So can still chase down Harrison. He'd like to end the season with a race win. Of course, he denied himself the race win at Le Mans last time out in race 3. Slowed down to let George Simmons past his teammate to get a few extra points for the championship. But this one, certainly he would not have to slow down for Simmons for, because Simmons down in 16th place, actually having a bit of a mare at the moment because of the damage that he picked up on that one. Very slow as Simmons at the moment. I'm seeing he's 30 kilometers down. So I mean, Harrison, he didn't even have it that bad in race 1. It's race 2, sorry. You can see how the front of that car is actually falling to pieces. So it would be nice to see Simmons finish the race, and you know, he's not going to quit early. Is Simmons, but no, shame for him to yeah, be quite such a pedestrian end to the season.
Yeah, I bet he's a bit disappointed in that, but you know, at the end of the day, it's second place in the championship. He did give Kieran Harrison a bit of a scare. He was catching him up quite quickly in the points, so it made an interesting last meet. It's a bit unfortunate for him that it's ended the way it did, but I'm pretty sure overall he'll be quite happy with the results in this season, and maybe he'll come back next year bigger and stronger and do one place better. I'd love to see.
Yeah, I think he's been toiling away at the series for a while as Simmons. Probably one of the best drivers not to win the championship. Cedric, I think, as well, as another one who did Cedric do any of the? Yeah, I think Cedric did the start of the season, but wasn't really at the top of the championship for a while. But Simmons has really come on strong for the second half of the season. I think he's been the best driver on the grid over the past kind of 4 or 5 meetings. Hasn't had a retirement for a while, actually, is Simmons, which has been fundamental to his success. But yeah, we'll just fall a little bit short this season. It seems like. Meanwhile, of course, Harrison going for back-to-back titles. He was fairly fortunate last season to be able to take it, because the guy who was leading the championship going into the last round actually had a hardware failure and wasn't able to race. They had a similar margin to what Harrison had going into tonight's meeting, and Harrison was there to pick up the pieces. But this one, I think, will feel a little bit more harder, and I'm sure he will have a chat with us after the race. Should everything go to plan? All these final few minutes. By the way, quick shout out to SDK Gaming, who provides our lovely overlay. We've used them, of course, of all our streams on Apex Racing TV, and I'm sure this season could not be presented as well as it has been without SDK. All the elements on the time tower, just incredible. It's super customizable as well. You can literally make it look however you want. It's amazing for broadcasting, streaming, and as a heads-up display as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk. 14-day free trial, and you can see what all the fuss is about. We would certainly recommend it, all of us at Apex Racing TV. Harrison is had that gap cut back down to nothing against Savinovic. I know what I would do in this situation, Andy. I would let Savinovic pass, but it doesn't seem like Harrison's going to do that.
No, I think he wants to. I think he wants to go out on the high. So I think he's probably going to battle him right to the dire end here. So it'll certainly make an interesting finale to the final race of the season. Talk about the final race of the season. What are our lovely viewers going to be doing next week, Sam?
Well, I wonder. Well, I'll say in just a moment. After
exciting news.
Yeah. After. Yeah. Harrison trying to break the draft. Okay, so we've got the ARL Gauntlet. Here we go, here's an opportunity. So we've got the ARL Gauntlet starting next week. Sign up at apexracingleague.com. Random car track combinations, all free content as well, at least on the car side, and all very popular circuits on the track side. So do check out apexracingleague.com for more of that. Managed to go through all that in just one straight, the Roaring Lake, next to the circuit. And it was Harrison who managed to stay ahead right there. And of course, that ARL Gauntlet will be held will be broadcast on Apex Racing TV. Should be an amazing championship, so do check it out. Once again, random car track combos, never been done before. Probably has been done before, but not by us.
Oh,
no, that's not the track. That is a lot of damage there for Guinness and Smith.
Crazy.
Oh, you can't stop there.
Oh, got him out. Yeah, he's obviously had enough of that. Let's have a look at it going in. Oh, bit of... Hey.
It is a curved straight, that, which always does cause some problems.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting one for these guys. Let's put in.
Has continued, but he seems to have similar dash to what Simmons has got, and that's been crippling for Simmons. So Magiginas may drop behind a few drivers by the end of this one, as T lining up Shurikov. So T managed to get through all of that. You may have just seen T see the crash ahead, and like a tough guy from an action movie, just not being flustered whatsoever. I mean, driving straight through the fireball and picking up a bunch of places. So T up into 4th, managed to overtake Bokla in that, as we've got Savidovic versus Harrison, leaving almost zero space for one of them. And here comes Savidovic. He's surely got to have the better line here. Harrison trying all he can, putting some shapes down the straight, but there was just no resisting the Apex Racing team driver. And it's Savidovic for the first time in this race 3 at the head.
Yeah, the power of that slipstream of that straight is quite large. I'm quite surprised Harrison kept it off as long as he did, to be fair. Savidovic now obviously in the league, so he's in the same position that Harrison was. So Harrison will hopefully look at repaying the favour during this lap. So we'll see how this one unfolds.
As predicted, Guinness dropping down the order, down to 8th position now behind Woodhouse. He's got 3 seconds to Vila, so actually Guinness might be alright to hang on to that 8th place. We've got one more lap to go after this one. Still Shurikov in touch. You know, these guys can't afford to take each other out, otherwise the Russian will pick up the pieces. Harrison, they stay real close at the moment. The toe effects, as you said before, Andy, I mean, really strong around this circuit. It seems stronger than what I thought it would be, honestly, going into this meeting. And so if Harrison can stay close around here, he should have a good chance, but that's an excellent chicane there from Savidovic.
Yeah, it's just all about trying to keep right behind him. If he keeps right behind him, this corner here, there's so many different lines you can take, and take it wrong, you can lose easily half a second coming on the outside. But he got a really good run on that, coming out nice and wide, getting on the power early. So I wouldn't surprise if there was another move going up, but I think there'll be a bit of swerving going down the straight, as we see here. But Harrison seems to be stuck to the back of him like glue.
We're a bit too far back for the move here, but he did have a good hairpin. It was literally just the chicane where Savidovic was able to pull away. That was a lot of curb there for Harrison. He'll be lucky not to pick up a slowdown. He nailed it. It wasn't luck. He absolutely nailed that one. So he's still 10th and a half behind. Oh, yeah. Thought about it.
Shoot out this one.
Yeah. Hopefully, well, I don't know, if it ended in a crash, that'd be quite fun. That'd be pretty cool. Go on social media. But hopefully it's a glorious move around the outside at the chicane for one of these guys. I think that'd be an apt way to end this season.
Good to go the top 2 protagonists, or obviously Savandowski's in 3rd place in the championship, so we've got 3rd and 1st going into this lap. And like you said, he hasn't run away this season, and Le Mans, he actually gave up the race win for Simon, so it might be actually fitting that he does win a race in this season if he hasn't won one already. So.
Yeah, certainly Sonoma race 1 he got. I don't know why I remember that, but he got pole. I think that was one of his few poles actually this season. It was absolutely on fire, that race was Savidovic. I think he's got a couple of others. But he may not have this one because he, after nailing the chicane on the last lap, he's messed it up a bit on this lap. And Harrison able to get part of his car alongside. Now they're making contact. But Savidovic just has to cover that inside line. Harrison may catch a little bit too quick here. Needs to generate some big momentum, have a lot of pace advantage, and now goes alongside. It's been a terrific season, this, as they do make contact in this, the 48th and final race of the season. We know Harrison's going to win the championship, but who's going to take the final race win of the season? Harrison does move ahead, Savidovic over the curbs, and it's quite fitting for the car number 1, the defending champion, and surely this season's champion as well, Kieran Harrison, to win the final race of the season in a real nice duel between himself and Wojciech Savidovic. Shurikov rounds out the podium. Woodhouse is going to finish top of the amateurs, and we are probably 90% sure, 98% 98% sure that he's won the championship. Woodhouse, congratulations to him. If he hasn't won an amateur championship before, he's been, I wouldn't be surprised if he has, because he's been around for so many years in this championship. But I'm sure that is one of his best moments that he's experienced, and it's a brilliant way to end the season for him. And after, once again, a poor race 1, he always does manage to bring it back in race 2 and race 3. There's Gregory, the runner-up this season, but, well, runner-up last season as well, of course. He's kind of got used to that place. Hopefully we'll see him back to try to clinch that title for the first time next week. Next season, apologies. That was one of the best meetings of the season, honestly, Andy. And I'm surprised because, of course, we did have far few drivers. We started off the season with 50 drivers. We only had 18 racing tonight. But every race win was hard fought. The championship was really going absolutely everywhere. And I know it was quite poetic the way that those race 3 results ended, considering the championship.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing to be part of the team for this last race. Amazing. That's all I can say. You know, the fighting, there was some ambitious moves, but you know, on the whole, some really great overtaking moves. A lot of respect for the drivers when they know they've been beaten to try and come back again. So real fitting end to what has been a long season for the drivers. But I'm pretty sure they're all stoked, and it was good that, you know, the first place or the potential first place in the pro and in the AMs came first in both their classes in the last race. So, you know, really good end to the season, and those guys will be over the moon. I'm pretty sure that they'll be excited when they come into the commentary box as well.
There is Kieran Harrison. You can't really do donuts in this car because it's front-wheel drive, but that's kind of the equivalent to it. It's not quite as stylish as the Kia. The Kia, like the most powerful engine. I mean, they put rockets up with the Kia Optima combustion engine. The Audi doesn't quite live up to that, but it's still pretty good. As driving backwards, I mean, all the circus tricks are coming out right here. Harrison then is the winner. 3.6 seconds clear of Savidovic, but it was anything but comfortable. I mean, if that gap implies it was an easy win, it was anything but, because he had to make the move on the last corner, obviously. Shurkov finishes in third. Then it was T, Bokler, Leitner. Woodhouse was top of the amateur drivers there. Vila was in 8th. Then it was Fritsch, Gregory, Glaskov, Platson. Simmons finishes runner-up in the season, we believe. Pershka was in 14th. Then it was Guinness, Glover, Smith, and Zaitsev. Smith and Zaitsev won't score points. Bad luck for Smith. They was 2 laps down, but you need to finish 1 lap down or on the lead lap in order to score points. So not quite the end he wanted. I might try to get the points updated actually, maybe once we're going through the interviews. By the way, I don't think we've mentioned them so far tonight, so quick shout out to Virtual Racing School for helping us out for this season. Virtual Racing School providing over 50 data packs. That's like a data pack for 50 odd different cars. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, the section they have, and that's for both road and oval racing as well. In those data packs, you've got setups, you've got check guides, you've got some amazing data analysis software to really identify the areas that you're losing time out on circuit. You can also get one-on-one coaching as well. One of the great things about Virtual Racing School and Apex Racing Academy is that they are intertwined with one another. You can get the benefits from maybe the telemetry software from Virtual Racing School, but then you get the setup sync technology from Apex Racing Academy, and all the setups are available in one place, and all the drive tutorials are available in one place. So do subscribe to both, of course, maybe just one or the other if you want to, but those two are really the trendsetters in the driver tuition world of iRacing. Has anyone joined us for a chat yet? They have not, so we'll wait for our championship winners a little bit longer. But I mean, I think you asked earlier on, Andy, what my favourite moment in the championship was, and I very much put myself back on the spot here because there have been, of course, so many good races this season. But yeah, of course, like I said, earlier on, Virginia was an absolute excellent round. We had some good races at Bathurst, Suzuka, was very good. Long Beach a couple of weeks ago had some good races. But yeah, honestly, I'd have to say Virginia race 1. I mean, it wasn't even... I don't think anything especially happened in that race necessarily, Virginia race 1, but it was probably just the pinnacle of racing across the season. There was a little bit of, elbows out racing and maybe a penalty or two given, but it was really tight batswing. The field was really close together, and was really maybe the epitome of what this season has been like. So no, that was a very good element for it, and yeah, can't wait for next season.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's been fun. I'm afraid to have missed it. I was watching a couple of rounds, obviously on YouTube. I watched Le Mans, which I was a bit skeptical about Le Mans with this style of car being so slow, but no, that was some epic racing on that. This round, epic racing again. So certainly, if I don't get on the commentating team next season, I'll certainly be watching it, because I'm imagining it's action packed for the viewers of never a dull moment in the touring cars.
Definitely, yeah. So it's probably our most action-packed series on Apex Racing TV, as it has been for many years. And a driver who's been involved for many years in the series, of course, is Ben Gregory. He has come to have a chat with us. Thanks for having a chat with us, Ben, because I imagine you're a little bit disappointed. It was a long shot going into tonight. Mark had to not finish 2 of the races, but in the end, just a bit like last season, you've just come up a little bit short.
Yeah, honestly, for what I've played to Mark, keep it clean and consistent. I think the main reason why, I think it started, honestly, I was leading the championship so long, and then Bathurst, where I got absolutely nailed by a person I will not name, making a very daft move, and it just went from there. Just contacts with people, but I did my best. We've won the team championship by a absolute massive margin, so that's at least the main thing. So that's the main thing we went into going into. So we wanted the teams mostly. So
definitely. I mean, I don't know about yourself, but I've kind of seen these last few rounds, particularly since Kota. It seems like you always have got a good race 1. And Mark's had a problem, and then something's gone wrong for you in race 2, and Mark's had a really good race 2, and then it's always 1 step forwards, 1 step back, kind of this second half of the season.
Yeah, it has been. It's slightly like I said, it's disappointing that it's happened that way, because I would love to have actually fought Mark on track for it, and honestly, I do think he's a bit quicker anyway. He definitely deserves the championship. It's just one of those things where, I would have loved to have given a bit more of a run for his money, but yeah, it was. Yeah, the Long Beach one was the most disappointing. I think I was running so well there, and it was just a annoying incident. But yeah, Mark's run the best season out of us all. It's been a great fight. I've enjoyed fighting with it, all the AM guys. Been a bit crashy in some on some tracks, but yeah, what can you do? Been great fun, and honestly, teammates as well, Tim and Toby, who unfortunately both couldn't turn up tonight, which is fine. But we've done super well as a team. It's been absolutely fantastic running as well as we have. So
absolutely, yeah. So it would second that one. I was asked earlier on by Andy what my favourite moment of the season was, and then I gave a very weak answer. What does a moment stand out for you this season?
I don't know really. I think there's been a couple of moments where I feel oh my lord, I'm actually running up high. First round at Silverstone, when I was somehow leading a race for a bit, was not for long, but that was good fun. But I think the fact that I can hold my head high with how well I've ran this season, and same with last season as well, how well I've ran in this TCR car. I can definitely I think that's the standout for me. I've ran really well. I've had some great support from teammates and friends in the series, and awesome racing alongside everyone. And so, yeah, I can't really complain too much. But that's definitely going to be my best one. Just running so well.
Definitely, yeah. You're absolutely consistency's been really good this season. Always, trying to pound in those results. So yeah, congratulations on course runner up this season. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, all the guys at Boosted who have been super supportive of us. Sorry if you can hear the hoof in the background. Teammates Tim Perry and Toby Ward, George Simmons for giving us help as well. Yeah, boys at Apex being just chilled to race with, and everyone on the grid who's been given great racing. Honestly, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Ben, and maybe next season you can finally get that amateur title.
Maybe.
That was Ben Gregory there, your runner-up this season in the Amateur Championship. Andy, who would you like to have a talk with?
I'll leave Kieran to you because he's obviously saying let's get George in and see how he felt the season. Hi George, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the commentary box. So, you came into this race with an outside chance of getting Kieran. It didn't quite pan out, but you gave it your best shot. How's it been for you this season?
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly going into this last round expecting it to be difficult. I think Kieran, I think I said it in the interview last week, absolutely deserved to win the championship. And it was his to lose into the final round, and I was going to need some serious luck. Wojciech again managed to drag me out to the pole in quali, and yeah, did his best in race 1 to make it difficult for Kieran. But at the end of the day, got a little bit damaged in race 3. But even if I turned up and won all 3 races tonight, as long as Kieran made it to the finish, he was going to sweep it. And yeah, he did much more than that. So yeah, he totally deserves it. It's been a really good championship. We've raced really hard, really well all the way through. And yeah, best man won it at the end of the day. So well done to him.
One of the things that stands out for me was obviously last week in Le Mans. How long were you two talking about the Le Mans style finish between the two of you?
I didn't mention anything. You could see that Wojciech was thinking about it when he dropped. I thought he was 5 seconds ahead of the pack or something like that. So, he was just going to drive off. But yeah, then all of a sudden he started coming back towards me, and I thought, he's obviously decided to get involved. And then yeah, he told me on the last lap that he'd let me through if I got to second. So then I made sure I got to second.
No, that was a great moment. Talking about great moments, obviously it's been a very long season. Have you got any standout moments in this season so far, or at the end?
It's difficult to say, really. To be honest, I've forgotten the entire first half of the championship, so I wasn't really taking it that seriously. I was just turning up and trying to have some good races and enjoy it. And only, what was it? Must have been at Long Beach when it kind of started to look like I might be able to catch Kieran. So yeah, I think we had a really, from a bad qualifying in Long Beach, ended up recovering that meeting overall. So that was probably one of my favourites. And then yeah, of course, we did everything right at Le Mans. So unfortunately, they're both near the end in recent memory, but those are the highlights for me.
Yeah, no, it's been a really long season, and obviously you started off quite late, and you were a late comer to the party as such to give Kieran a run for his money. Does that give you emphasis for next season if you're possibly coming back to try and get that first place off him, and obviously get your start of the season up there and be a lot closer to him?
Yeah, I've obviously got to improve something at the beginning of the season when the grids are a bit bigger. Maybe I'm too cautious or just not good enough in quali. I guess that was probably what was letting me down a bit. So yeah, there's a few things to work on, but I don't know. Anyway, that's enough for me. I reckon.
It was a great battle. Before you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Of course, the commentary team and all the league organisers. You guys have done a brilliant job all season long, so thanks very much for that. And yeah, Apex Racing Academy. Thanks, guys.
And congratulations on your second place, or proposed second place at the moment, provisional second place at the moment. over to you, Sam. We need to get Kieran in, I think.
Yes, we are going to be able to have a chat with our, what we believe is our Season 3 Apex Racing League Touring Car champion, Kieran Harrison. Congratulations, Kieran. That is a monumental feat. Back-to-back championships. First man to do that for a little while, certainly in the history of Apex Racing League TC. Congratulations. You must feel pretty relieved right now.
Yeah, thanks. Relief is the main thing. I guess coming into the 3 non-droppable rounds, I had the massive gap, and it just George just destroyed the gap in 2 rounds. So I genuinely actually was a little bit worried for moments there, but yeah, I came through in the end. It was nice to get a win as well on the last race. It's been a while since I got one. It feels like Apex have been sweeping them a bit recently, but yeah, overall, good season.
A very different final round to last season. I mean, last season, of course, the championship leader had a hardware failure, wasn't even able to take part in the final round. Of course, this time you had the lead, and it was almost kind of roles reversed. So, I mean, is the feeling different for this one? And also, of course, the fact that this is your second title, does it feel a little bit different?
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I preferred the feeling last year where I had nothing to lose at the time. Obviously, I never expected it. It was a freak incident with Ross Balfour, but it's a lot more pressure, stress this time, having had my championship lead cut down and then being the one with everything to lose. Yeah, at the end of the day, I just had to remember that I still had the advantage. As long as I could keep it relatively tidy, it would be fine.
Do you think you've been able to improve on anything this season compared to last season?
Yeah, I think particularly this season, qualifying was a strong point of mine, particularly earlier in the season. But yeah, generally, I guess the grids have been kind of smaller this end of the season, but I've found that I got through the pack relatively well compared to last season, especially Circuit of the Americas, where I think I got 2 wins. But yeah, so I feel like I've improved. George Simmons certainly came on towards the second half of the season, gave me a very good run for it. He was the strongest driver by far at the end, so congrats to him. It was a good fight.
And would you say that, I mean, now that you finally clinched the championship, would you say that this is probably the best moment of the season, or would you say there's maybe another race which really stands out?
It's been such a long season. I can't remember it. The whole thing, moment by moment. It was definitely a good one, as I said, at Circuit of the Americas, where I got the double win. And winning this last race, probably the most satisfied I've been, because it was a battle with Wojciech the whole way. Just clinched it on the final corner, and I knew that was for the championship as well. So I would have to say this last race.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Everyone's had bad memory loss this season. I mean, everyone who we've asked, including myself, it's kind of all blurred into one. It's so many races, it's tricky to pinpoint them each. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Kieran?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to shout out, of course, Apex Racing. You guys doing the commentary, and the league itself. All my teammates, Quarantine, Norbert and Roman, for helping me the whole season, qualifying in the races, etc., and with the setups. And of course my family and friends tune in every week to support me.
Awesome. Well, massive congrats, Kieran. It's a monumental achievement to win another one of these series, and we hope to see you back on Apex Racing TV sometime.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Kieran.
Yes.
Kieran Harrison, there, your 2-time champion. I mean, we've never had a 2-time champion in Apex Racing League TC. In fact, I think the only driver who's ever defended a championship in Apex Racing League history was Tom McMahon, who managed to win season 2 and season 3 of the Apex Racing League GT Championship. I think both kind of similar level of achievement. Maybe this one just takes the biscuit because of the fact that, of course, some of the really most of the best TC drivers in iRacing do take part in this series. So absolutely immense achievement there from Kieran to be able to take another title. I think we might have we've still got 10 more minutes, so we might have one time for one more
Yeah.
interview if you want to.
Yeah, let's get Lars in. Obviously, he's a latecomer to the thing. Let's get his take on the last three.
Hello.
Hi, Lars. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Hi, welcome to the commentary box. So you obviously a latecomer into the TC Championship, the last 3 or 4 rounds, I think it was. What's been your take on the championship, and are you looking at going into next season with a little bit of experience from the back end of this one?
Oh yeah, certainly. I was absolutely thinking of joining the next season full time if my schedule allows it. But I certainly wanted to get experience as soon as possible. And since there was an offer on the final 3 rounds, I just pulled the trigger. And I'd honestly say it was a good decision. This was 3 rounds, and I learned so much.
It seemed to be the way you started off quite conservative, and then the last sort of 2 rounds, you've really found sort of your mojo in this car, and you've been up the front a few times, battling with the pros. So it must give you confidence going into next season, being able to do quite well in the amateurs.
Absolutely. Especially this round in Montreal, I went in, I knew I was fast on the track, but I couldn't quite tell where I would end up pace-wise. But then being able to win race 1 in the amateur class, despite getting a slowdown and falling behind Benjamin. And, well, we don't talk about race 2, but race 3 again was, despite those slowdowns, I was able to consistently catch back up.
Yeah, I suppose for the format of the rounds, if you have a poor race, you've still got another 2 race to make amends and get some decent points. Do you like the format?
Absolutely. 3 race heat races are really, really fun, especially those shorter ones. 20 minutes. It's just the right time where you do have to concentrate, but you can also pull off some risky moves and really put it all into 1 or 2 laps.
So a lot of other drivers have obviously had a bit of memory loss. You should be a little bit better, obviously only competing in 3 rounds. Have you got any standout moments of your series?
Yeah, of the 3 rounds I was in, most definitely what stands out first, race 2 at Long Beach was extremely exciting to me, as I was fighting with first with Sergei Glaskov, and then with Benjamin Gregory over my maiden win in M class. And well, in the end, didn't work out, but that was an amazing race for me, and I was really thrilled for that. And the other standout moments, just the entire Montreal round, I was consistent, I was up there, I was safe.
Yeah, that's great. Another thing I want to talk about is your livery. Very standout. It looks like obviously camo. Is there any story behind that, or do you just like the camo?
Oh yes. So basically, this is supposed to remember a German World War II tank. It has a turret number of a German Panther tank on its side. I'm really a huge history nerd in that regard. Actually, there was another symbol on the car, but we sadly had to scratch that because people tend to confuse it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's certainly one that stands out on the grid. You can see it from a mile off, even though it's supposed to be camouflage and you're not supposed to see it. You can see it. So, yeah, thanks very much for joining us. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out before we leave you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out both Michael Jenny and Joshua Easy, because they've helped me in the races for spotting. They jumped in and absolutely nailed the spotting, so I was able to avoid pretty much all the incidents on track.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you've had a final 3 rounds of the series and enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you next year, where I think it'll be quite competitive. Thank you very much, Lars.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Good evening. Okay, so I mean that sort of wraps up the season quite nicely, Sam. So it's been sort of action-packed, great racing, all to come for season 4, I think.
Yeah, 48 races again. I mean, this is the longest season we've ever done in Apex Racing League history. I mean, these seasons are usually pretty long. I think We had maybe a couple of 13 race seasons in this, and a 14 race season as well. But 16 races really has extended it even longer than before. It's been absolutely great fun. I mean, I've broadcasted I think all of them as this season, and I've absolutely enjoyed every single minute of it. So been absolutely immense to broadcast, and well, thanks of course to many different people. First off, the sponsors for the championship, SDK Gaming, Apex Racing Academy, and Virtual Racing School for supporting this series, particularly SDK Gaming and Apex Racing Academy, because the top drivers in the various championships will be able to take home some prizes for that, subscriptions to each of them. So some pretty cool prizes there. They also get trophies as well, which is always very cool to get their hands on. So massive thanks to all of those for all those sponsors. Thanks of course to you guys for tuning in every single week. You know, we wouldn't put on the stream if people weren't watching it, and yet we reliably get 30 odd viewers, upwards of 60 viewers on some broadcasts, and hundreds of views afterwards. We've probably got over 10,000 views across the season, which is absolutely awesome. It really does make our work worthwhile, so thank you very much for tuning in. Massive thanks to the drivers for putting on a show. It's been terrific entertainment this season to watch the drivers go to compete so fantastically. And of course, a special congratulations to all the championship winners, because we got what we believe, and of course it's always subject to penalties and such, but we're almost certain that it's going to be the overall championship for Kieran Harrison once again, the amateur championship heading to Mark Woodhouse, and then also the teams championships, the amateur teams heading to three Spires boosted, and then also the overall and the pro teams championship going to HM Engineering. So congratulations to all of those guys. Thanks to the adminning team as well for setting up the series, and also massive thanks, of course, to besides me today, Andy Thompson for helping out, and of course Peter Mackay, who is of course doing work for Radio Le Mans. It's absolutely amazing. Do check out Peter on Radio Le Mans if you're interested in, I believe it's the Nürburgring 24 hours going on this weekend. Do give that a listen to if you like his Scottish tones, and do give him some support on that one. And also, of course, massive thanks to Sam Kumo, who has been operating the cameras so diligently as always throughout the season. I've been Sam Fitzpatrick for all these 16 races of the season. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll be back for a new season in maybe just over a month or so. Keep your eyes out on apexracingleague.com for announcements on that front. For myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Andy Thompson, and from Sam Kume, we are going to say goodbye for Season 3 of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship, and we'll see you back very soon.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.